What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for our AEW on TNT review for November the 18th, 2020, as we are moving oh so close to that December 2nd show, now known as Winter is Coming. So AEW will present Winter is Coming on December 2nd. That is their pay-per-view quality show coming to you next month. So tonight, we had ourselves a main event, Darby Allin and Cody versus Ricky Starks and Brian Cage at Team Taz. Pac makes his in-ring return after months and months away. And so much more. Well, we started the show off with Top Flight versus the Young Bucks. Now, this match was supposed to happen last week. Unfortunately, I believe it's Matt, or whoever's the ankle injury from, I think it's Matt, he was not cleared to compete last week, so they said, you know what, we'll give him a week off. If he gets cleared, we'll have the match the next week. He was cleared enough, so we're here. So, we had this match was great. Now, I put it on Parliament, I was like, we get it, Matt, Nick, we get it, Young Bucks, we get it, AEW. Tag team wrestling matters, but you don't have to keep shoving it down our throats, and that's all they seem to want to do. It's like, hey, you know how WWE doesn't do any tag team wrestling, and any good tag team wrestling, majority of the time? We're going to have tag team wrestling shoved so far down your throat that you're never going to want to see another tag team match. So, this was a good match. It puts Top Flight over. I don't know if they're signed. If they are signed, if they're not signed yet, then they should be signed after this match, because they went out there and they showed that the Young Bucks are the only team, or not the only high-flying good tag team out there. This was a great back-and-forth match. I will give the Young Bucks credit. They do love to give young up-and-coming tag teams, or young up-and-coming guys, a lot of time. They want to give them a lot. Let them go out there. They'll take spots, they'll sell for them, they'll do what they can to allow them to get as much time as they can. Darius is knocked off the apron towards the end of the match. Nick then kicks him down. Young Bucks with an assisted slice spread off the top rope. Darius breaks things up, but then is sent out to the floor. Dante nearly gets a roll-up on Matt, ends up taking the BTE trigger. 1, 2, 3, Matt and Nick are your winners. After the match, Jack Evans and Angelico attack Top Flight on the outside. Young Bucks end up chasing them away. They help up the two, they shake their hands, and that was that. So, yes. If Top Flight haven't had the All Elite message on Twitter yet, they need to soon. They are a heck of a team. They will be great for AEW in the end. But, yes. Young Bucks get the win. Did you really expect them to lose? And it looks like Jack Evans and Angelico will be the next target, the next team to be challenging the Young Bucks, or the first team to challenge the Young Bucks for those tag team titles. Do you think FTR and Young Bucks are done? No. That's going to be visited probably around Revolution, but we don't need to have them going up against each other again for a while. Inner Circle heads to Las Vegas. We see them playing blackjack, others games. Sammy and Ortiz don't seem to having much fun. The group heads to the bar with Wardlow and Jake Hager staring at each other. MJF and Jericho go back and forth at the bar by ordering stronger drinks. MJF gets to moonshine. Jericho asks for Everclear. They both drink it down and instantly hold their stomachs and are like, son of a bitch. Santana and Ortiz ask if they want to go to the next level, and then Conan makes an appearance and says he's got the best stuff. The group then comes out of the limo with some smoke surrounding them, and a drunk Sammy tells MJF that he hates MJF, but then they start laughing. Wardlow and Hager still pissed at each other, and they decide to beat up some random guys, to be continued, as the group stumbles down the sidewalk. So you know this is where this is heading, right? What movie do you think they would be spoofing in the all of this? I'll get to that here later. But we should have seen where this was going. AEW Boundless by Director X. The video package includes Nyla Rose, Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Colt Cabana, Young Bucks, Private Party, Hangman Adam Page, Miro, and Britt Baker. They talk about being this was their build up the start of a revolution. It's actually on YouTube, I believe, too. They talk about being able to overcome what others think, and be the wrestlers they want to be. Brandy mentions how nobody thought they could be a success after there not being a second big wrestling promotion in almost 20 years at the time that they came to be. Cody says that they instantly had competition in a company that had been around for decades, WWE of course. Backstage, Jon Moxley says he's been a crazy-ass ride for the last 16 years, but it makes sense to him. He's always asked how he's been able to be champion for so long. He says it's because of his dad, a big man that would box your ear off, bring up how people tried to lie, cheat, and steal. He kept using the line, "We're the good guys." His dad taught him that no matter what you do, as long as you don't lie, as long as you keep true to yourself, you are the good guy. He brings up people who tried to lie, cheat, and steal for the title from him. He had to fight monsters, but like his dad once told him, we're the good guys. He then mentions that he's got a pregnant wife at home, which, by the way, congratulations to Renee and Jonathan Good. Hopefully those two will have themselves a hell of a kid. The wrestling world keep pushing out babies. We have Seth Rollins, Kobe Lopez and Rebecca Quinn should be having their baby next month, and now Renee and Jonathan Good are about ready to have their own baby in about 9 months. So, good on them. Let's see here. He says tonight he will sign that contract without hesitation because he's the best wrestler in the world. I am John Damn Moxley. He didn't say goddamn because, they're on national TV, and he can't say the word God, I guess. I am John Goddamn Moxley, and that never going to change. So, they do have that contract signing coming up here in a bit. Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford versus Orange Cassidy. This match is happening because a couple weeks ago, during his match where Orange Cassidy and Penelope Ford were outside. I think it was Best Friends versus Miro and Kip Sabian. Dark Order came around and beat the hell out of Kip Sabian while Penelope Ford was around, and Kip Sabian, I think it was at Full Gear, yelled at him because he could have got his girlfriend hurt. Cassidy said, "I'm sorry," slapped him, not good enough, and that's where this match is. And of course, Miro was on commentary. I have to be honest, Miro, don't quit your day job, man. I think you could be good on commentary, just not in this. It was pretty much them trying to have a match, and Miro arguing with Tony Schiavone about Twitch, and all this other stuff that we did not really need to hear or hear between them two. So Kip Sabian tries everything he can to beat Orange Cassidy. He gets the best of Cassidy, penalty kick, pin 2 count. Sabian lifts up and drives Cassidy to the mat. Cover 2. Sabian with a big knee, big swing, looks for Cassidy, finish Cassidy off, but Cassidy's able to get the mousetrap. Pin, pull him 1, 2, 3, and that was that. Miro, as soon as that 3 hits, Miro gets the headset off. He is to the ring, clears the ropes, and hits a huge lariat on Orange Cassidy, pretty much taking his head off and knocking into the 20th row. Best Friends come down, they make the save, and they chase the group away. So, this feud's not over with. I don't know what's going to be the end of this feud, but wow, that was crazy. Now, hold on. My note thing decided it shouldn't be dumb. Okay. Here we go. Tony Schiavone's in the ring for the contract signing. Kenny Omega heads out first, wearing a suit and shades. Moxley's music hits, but he doesn't show up. We go to the back, and Moxley is completely knocked out with the medical staff and referees checking on him. The group agrees they need to get him out of here. Tony asks him if he has anything to say, but what happened? Omega says he's not for this physical stuff, but last time it was an elbow. This time it's a bloody nose. He says, you're not getting out of this one. You're not getting out of this one, Moxley. He signs the contract, heads out of the ring. Commentary says they'll have an update when they hear more from Moxley. So AEW decided we're going to do a Who took out Jon Moxley gimmick? So it's not going to be Kenny. It's obviously not going to be. If it's Kenny Omega, I would be absolutely shocked. But it's probably most definitely not Kenny Omega. Who could it be? Could it be MJF? Nah. Could it be Eddie Kingston? Probably. I don't know. I really don't care. I'm really not a big fan of these whodunits that they like to do. Next part of the Inner Circle, heading to Vegas while on a rooftop, a tipsy Jericho says the group is stronger than ever with a new member, Elvis! And Elvis impersonator drinks away with the group. MJF then says he's got something to get off his chest. He says he's always been a lone wolf, but now he's found a wolf pack. Yes, we're going down that route. And there's his blood brothers. Sammy offers to make it official and cuts his hand. They get him to stop though. MJF then leaves the group and as they all howl. The next morning, Jericho wakes up with Elvis in the same bed. He can't remember anything and can't believe he drank gin. MJF climbs out of a bathtub, finds Sammy sitting in the fountain. MJF says, "At least I'm not soft." MJF has a bunch of goofy phrases on his face. Sammy got married not once, not twice, but 3 times. Ortiz is way too pumped up as he works out. Santana is down in the lobby feeding a bunch of chickens. Jericho stumbles around the hotel with Sammy trying to find everyone. They hear a baby crying and walk in on Swoggle and a diaper crying on the floor. "Guys, we got a problem." And we go back to commentary, where Jericho has shown up, says he still has a headache from that trip, and says the new and improved Inner Circle is back next week. And it'll be Jake Hager versus Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian SCU. Yes, AEW went, wow. What do we need to tell? Like, for us to be an official wrestling company, what boxes do we need to check off? Let's do a movie spoof. We went with The Hangover. Why, oh why did we go with The Hangover? They could have probably figured something else, but they went with The Hangover. It was dumb, it was stupid, but it's what they do. The Blade with the Butcher and the Bunny versus Pac. This is Pac's first match back since March 11th. The night everything in the world or in the United States changed. Anybody remember what happened on March 11th, 2020? It was 3 days after my birthday. 2, it was the night that everything shut down. It was also the night that the Performance Center was used for NXT. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano beat the hell out of each other through that entire Performance Center. And then, what's his name from the Utah Jazz contracted COVID. And the NBA shut down, NHL shut down, the XFL ended up dying because of that for the second time. Businesses closed, sports was suspended for months, and we all went into a lockdown of sorts. Well, Pac, who does not live in the United States, used to live in the United States when he was part of WWE, but he moved back to the UK. And then got signed by AEW. He left Salt Lake, went home with his wife, and then got stuck in the UK for months and months and months. We saw one video package of this guy going crazy and did nothing for months and months and months. In that time, his tag team partners in group Death Triangle were lost. They went down to Mexico and they were stuck there. Well, Pentagon Jr. was stuck in Mexico for a while too. He came back, Eddie Kingston came through, and it was Eddie Kingston, the Butcher, the Blade, and the Lucha Bros, all forming a sort of family in AEW. Then a couple weeks ago, we got a video package, Pac losing his mind pretty much. And then last week, he made his return after 8 months of being away, and he gets his match with the Blade. And this was a really good match. One of the biggest things about it is, of course, this was Pac's first match, and probably his first actual time really being in the ring against somebody in all that time. So he was probably a little rusty, Showed it off. You could see a little bit of rust in him, but he knocked it off quick. Butcher gets involved a little bit. Bunny gets involved a little bit. But Bunny with a distraction. Butcher tries to get Pac and eats a thrust kick. Blade with a roll-up too. Pac kicks Blade right in the face. Goes up to the top. Shooting star press. Brutalizer. Blade taps out. Post-match, Pac gets the mic and looks right at Eddie and goes and says, "You say you like to fight?" And Butcher comes from behind. They beat the hell out of Pac. From behind, a laughing Kingston makes his way to the ring. As Blade and Butcher beat up on Pac, Kingston takes the mic and mocks Pac for being away for 8 long months. Instead, asks Pac if he thinks he's a big tough guy, he's going to put him through a storm. Ray Phoenix jumps in the ring, kicks away the group. Butcher and Blade take care of Phoenix as Kingston takes some more trash to Pac. Commentary wonders where Penta is, and he finally comes out with a chair in hand. Kingston tells Pentagon to take out Phoenix with the chair. Penta then goes, swings at Kingston and the Butcher and the Blade, sending them all out. Death Triangle has returned whole. I remember seeing last week somewhere a picture someone put up of a group that COVID-19 took away from us was Death Triangle, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, and Pac. Well, 2020 is not over yet. It looks like we're going to get Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, and Pac as for Death Triangle again. So, Death Triangle is back together. The trio stands tall. Well, Pac's standing as much as he can. He does fall back down because of the beating he just took. And that is great. Great to see them together. Let's see where this goes. Obviously, it's going to be... Could we see something where it looks like it's Death Triangle back together and it's just the Lucha Bros setting up Pac for disaster? I have no idea. Probably not. I think that'd be stupid. But it is great to see the team of Death Triangle back together. We go to the back, and Jade Cargill has a chair around Brandy Rhodes' arm, and she's tacking a bunch of trash. She stomps on the chair. Cargill is backed up by Nyla Rose as others members of the women's roster come to save Brandy. Big Swole gets in their face, and they back away. So, it looks like Jade is part of the Vicious Vixens with Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. Whoop-de-f***ing-do. I don't know who this Jade girl is, but she doesn't impress me one bit. And the fact that her first feud is with Brandy Rhodes of all people, the only way you could get worse is feuding with Britt Baker. And I wouldn't want to feud with either. Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa NWA Women's World Championship. The reason this match is happening is back a couple weeks ago, I think it was like 3 weeks ago or so, on UWN, United Wrestling Network, their show, Serena Deeb actually beat Thunder Rosa for the NWA Women's World Championship, and everyone thought Thunder Rosa was going to WWE. She was apparently supposed to make her debut at Halloween Havoc, but her contract runs all the way through next year. So, if she wants to go to Halloween Havoc, it's probably not to be Halloween Havoc 2021 if WWE NXT even does a Halloween Havoc 2021, which, honestly, if you think about it, having Thunder Rosa with the Day of the Dead girl, half face paint, making her debut on a Halloween-themed show would have been, made sense. Even though Day of the Dead and Halloween are two totally different things. So, this was a pretty decent match. Serena Deeb is okay as a champion, I think. Thunder Rosa carried this match, obviously, and I wish, if her contract comes up, she wouldn't go to WWE, she would sign on the dotted line and go to AEW and be a permanent member of AEW. AEW, here's the thing. Of the two women's divisions, who needs Thunder Rosa more? NXT, who has a stacked women's division, or AEW, where they're lacking in the women's division? I would say AEW. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Other than Thunder Rosa, if Thunder Rosa was to sign to AEW, there ain't a single woman on that roster who's on Hikaru Shida's level. Period. Chris Statlander is good, but she's not there yet. Anna Jay is good, she's not there yet. Those two are very young, green women in the wrestling business. So yeah, Thunder Rosa, if she would make it if she would be brought into any AEW full time, it would be a boost to the women's division. Where she goes to WWE, it's a dream. Yes, it's everyone's dream to go to the big company, go to WWE, go to where you make the big bucks. But in the end, honestly, here's the thing. If I was somebody like Thunder Rosa, I would sign a 1-year deal, wrestle for WWE, wrestle my dream job, and then leave. Because there were better opportunities either being in NWA or in the independents or working for AEW at this time. And not really in the WWE. One of the big things that Deeb did during this match is she worked on Thunder Rosa's leg. Early in the match, Thunder Rosa decided she was on the apron and decided to shout something out to the camera. She slowly started to come in. Deeb took advantage of that and hit the dragon screw twice on her leg. So she was going to try and get her in the Serenity Lock to win the match. Now, towards the middle of this match, for whatever reason, towards the end of the match really, whatever reason, Rebel shows up. She's screaming, she's yelling, distracting Aubrey Edwards, and Britt Baker just shows up and hits a fisherman's soup. What is it? I'm sorry. It was a DDT on the ramp, knocking Rosa out. Rosa out. And you think, oh, Serena Deeb's going to win this. Deeb comes in, hits the power bomb, gets a 2 count. So these guys wrestle for another minute or two, and it looks like Rosa is actually going to win the women's championship, end this all, and still be the NWA Women's Champion. Rosa with another pin too. They trade a bunch of strikes in the center of the ring. Rosa lifts and drives Deeb into the mat. Very close 2 count. Pin all fours. Deeb with a modified Styles Clash, where she, instead of having her arms down like her feet, like when Styles does, he has them up and then puts one leg over the other. She actually took her arms, crossed them, and then slammed her down in the Styles Clash like thing. 1, 2, 3. She gets the win. Post match, Britt Baker, who went to the back through the heel entranceway, shows up at ringside. She's at ringside. She's taunting Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa attacks her, grabs her, and just beats the living fuck out of her. Apparently, there was war of words between these two on social media this week. Why? Who knows? It's a way for Thunder Rosa to be in AEW for now. I mean, I don't know when the NWA is coming back with power and all this stuff. So, getting some exposure for their talent is a good thing. So, here we go. AEW is going to be giving us Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa sometime soon. When is that going to be? I couldn't tell you. Do I want to see Britt Baker take on Thunder Rosa? Absolutely not. Thunder Rosa is going to school Britt Baker. Is it something for Thunder Rosa to do? Yes. Could they use Big Swole? Maybe. Could they do anybody else? Maybe. But it's to give Thunder Rosa some direction. Britt Baker has a problem with her. She doesn't think that she belongs in AEW. And Thunder Rosa just wants to kick her ass. Backstage, John Silver and Anna Jay chatting about Jay's career since she joined the Dark Order. Silver says she won her last 4 matches and she's now in the top 5. So Brody Lee demanded from Tony that next week Anna Jay will get a title shot against Hikaru Shida after losing to Shida a few months back. Jay said, Shida, the last time we met, you defeated a rookie. I cannot wait to introduce you to the new Anna Jay. Number 99, the Queen Slayer. And I'm telling you right now, John Silver has become one of the most, if they did year-end awards in AEW, most improved on the mic, in the ring, overall, John Silver, 100%. This guy was just, I'm not taking into account anything he's done in the independent scene, or if he was in Tough Enough or whatever, I don't care. What he's done in AEW is what I find this. It's like, in AEW, he just was bland. He was a bland guy. And now he's got personality. His comedy is on point. He's doing damn good in the ring. He had his first pay-per-view match against Orange Cassidy this past pay-per-view 2 weeks ago, a week ago or so, at Full Gear. He's going places, and I can see him being a future TNT champion 100%. So, yeah. So, next week, Chris Jericho and Jake Hager versus Christopher Daniels and Frank Kazarian. Shida versus Anna Jay. Pac and Phoenix will take on The Butcher and The Blade, and Will Hobbs will be in action. We see a bit we see Darby Allin video outside of church with Allin standing on the peak with his newly won TNT title. Allin is seen skateboarding along the floor. Inside the building, looking at the camera, we see the fire start coming up side of his pant legs. He set himself on fire. So that leads us to our main event: Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes versus Brian Cage and Ricky Starks. This match went from a standard tag team match to a clusterfuck match. Like, for the majority of this match, I couldn't tell who was the legal person, who was not the legal person, because these guys were just going in there and car crashing each other, like, big move after big move after big move. In the end, because honestly, I couldn't tell you what the fuck was going on half the time. Taz was on commentary for the majority of this match. He did come down towards the end of it because he wasn't happy with what was going on with his guys. Starks looks to finish off Allin over the top stunner. No, he looks for the crossroads. Cody comes in, hits his own crossroads. Cage hits a discus clothesline on Allin. Angle slam on Cody. Cage puts Allin up to the top rope. Allin with a headbutt to get Cage away. Starks holds Allin's foot. Cage with a huge rising knee lift to the head, to the chest or whatever. Goes up top. Hits a avalanche. Drill claw. 1, 2, 3. Brian Cage and Ricky Starks are your winners. Now, after the match, it's not even about the match. The match was not really good. It was just way too much silliness and goofiness for me. After the match, Darby Allin's dead. That drill claw was horrible. That looked brutal. Cody comes in to try and stop these two from beating him up. They're beating up on Cody. Will Hobbs finally comes down. He looks to make the save. Gets Cage and Starks out of there. He looks down. He sees the title. He picks up this championship. It's the FTW championship. The commentary thinks it, and I know you thought it at home, but I'm not that fucking dumb. I've seen this song and dance before, and I knew where they were going from the second he grabbed that title. Cody gets up, puts his hand on Hobbs' shoulder. Hobbs turns, whacks Cody with the FTW championship. Brian Cage comes in, gives him a big hug from behind, and Hobbs has joined Team Taz. See, to the less initiated who hasn't watched wrestling as a whole for a very long time, that probably you didn't see that coming. The second, now I did say to my dad and stuff like last week, I was like, this is just gonna be temporary. Cody's going to go out there, he's gonna do this thing with them, and then it's gonna be Hobbs and Allin taking these two on. And then as soon as I saw him grab that championship and just hold it. It wasn't like immediately like he grabbed the championship and then 2 seconds later. No. He grabs the title, holds it up, and making it look like he's the champion now. As soon as Cody gets up, I'm like, he's hitting Cody. I'm just thinking to myself, like, he's hitting Cody, obviously. And in fact, boom, hits Cody, takes him out, and Team Taz, which, come on, get a new fucking name, has two of the biggest guys. Now, I will say this is a positive for Will Hobbs. Absolutely positive for Will Hobbs. Because Will Hobbs is young. He is a young guy. Brian Cage has been in the game for a while. Ricky Starks is young too. But it's all Taz. Taz is the man for all of this. He's got the mind to mold these three guys into major stars. Will Hobbs is going to come out. Will Hobbs, Ricky Starks are going to be two of the big time futures of this company. Brian Cage has been around for a good bit. He's been world champion in Impact Wrestling. There's not much more you need to do for a Brian Cage. Will Hobbs, He's young, he's hungry, and this is going to be great for him. But that is your AEW on TNT review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at the France Club. I'm sorry, fuck Twitter. I keep forgetting that. It's kind of, it's like robotic. I keep forgetting that Twitter's not available right now. Follow me on Parler at the France Club. Fuck Twitter. Find me on twitch.tv/the France Club. Find me on Instagram at the France Club. And I will see you guys on Friday for the Go Home show and the predictions for Survivor Series on SmackDown. Until then, my name is the France, and I'll see you guys later.